Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Conquer College Admissions. My name is Julie Kim and I am a graduate of USC and Harvard, and now I help and guide high school students to get accepted into their dream Ivy League and top tier using their passion and their strength. So welcome to my channel, and make sure if you are new to click on the subscribe button so that you will be notified when I release new videos every single week. One of the things I love talking about is your mindset and having a healthy lifestyle and always aiming for more in life while staying present. And I know I always talk about college admission strategies and tips, but today I would like to record a video for you to talk about habits that lead to success. To give you a quick backstory, I actually was a very lazy person. I always wanted to work hard and study hard and things like that, but I didn't have the tools for it. My habits were complete mess. I also gained a lot of weight, so I wasn't working out and I wasn't being active, which really leads you to not study well too. I don't know, I just see a correlation. Like if I'm active and I want a good healthy lifestyle, then that would translate into my academic world as well, at least for me. And so it took many years to really solidify the habits that I've instilled in my life. And I want to share these with you so that you can take away what will work for you and you can also implement these. And I wish that someone had told me about these habits when I was younger. And so that's what I'm here to do, to give you just that. The first habit that changed my life was to journal. And I was journaling on and off in elementary school, middle school, high school. It was never consistent, but I started to journal every single day or every other day. I didn't want it to be too overwhelming where I had to journal every single day even though I had nothing to write about, but I would write about things that would challenge me. And it wasn't just like, oh, today was like a day where I took a test. It wasn't really like to reflect on my day. It was really to understand my current belief system and how I can challenge that even further. So for example, the journal prompt would say, what would you be doing if you got into Harvard already? Or what are some of the things that you should believe in so that you can get yourself to the next level academically and personally? And I would just jot these out, and that really just gave me a time to reflect and think about what's important to me, what my values are. And then on some days I write about whatever I want, whatever's on my mind, just to dump it all out, because I think we live in such a saturated world where we're on our phones all the time, YouTube all the time, Facebook all the time. And so just sitting down to journal is an amazing experience. And right when I wake up, I get my cup of coffee and then I take my notebook and I journal. And that's still my habit that I use today. And I will never let go of this habit because it's such a powerful alone time. And now, so as a high school student, you might be asking I can't even get up in the morning to go to school. How am I going to journal? So I encourage some students to journal at night, before they go to bed, to really sink in some good energy and to good thoughts before you sleep. Also, I have my students just journal during the weekends, and that's sort of a time where you can reflect and think about what went well. You can also use some journaling prompts to ask yourself some challenging questions. So it's up to you. There is no rule like how many times you need to journal. It's up to when you can do it with 100% attention and presence. So keep that in mind. I definitely encourage you guys to try it out. Pinterest has a lot of journaling prompts and inspiration, so you can go into Pinterest and check out some journaling prompts. The second habit for success is to read. Reading is so important, and I know that in high school you are busy reading textbooks and novels and all of these readings for assignments, but I also encourage you to look into self-help books because they've just changed my life tremendously. I used to be a very insecure person. I used to doubt everything and I never really believed in myself fully. And I'm really proud and glad to say that because of the self-help books that I've read, I was able to aim for USC, Harvard, and to run an amazing business serving high school students and mentoring them, and the life that I get to live today. And self-help books have helped me so much, learning about why I think the way that I do and how I can challenge it. I think a lot of people tend to think, oh, what I believe is true, but it's not most of the time. And so even if it's true, we want to think about like, how can I level up my belief system even more so that I can be more happy and successful and just live a more fulfilling life. And I've also recorded a video called Books That Changed My Life, and so I'll add the link here so you can check that video out if you're interested in getting started. The third habit for success is to be active. Like I said, I used to be overweight in high school, and because of that I was very insecure. And to be honest with you, my weight loss journey was not linear at all. I would lose a lot of weight, gain it all back, lose a lot of weight, gain it all back. But now I'm proud to say that it's been consistent because I make it a goal to work out at least 3 to 4 times a week. It's like my role that I can't say no to. And sometimes I don't feel like working out for an hour, doing cardio and weight. So in those days, I'll just do cardio. So I just show up to the gym and know that even though I'm not gonna be able to do everything today because I don't feel like it, I'm going to still come and do what I can do within the energy that I have. So working out, also finding your own hobby, doing something that gets you outside of your room, because all of you guys are just studying all the time and just always burning out, always online, looking at things and information. And I think it's really important to take time off and work out, do what you like, refresh, because we have limited energy capacity, right? We can't be productive all day long, every single day. So it's really important that you feed yourself well with a good workout, good info, just having a really good time and being present, because the last thing that I want for you guys is to be always overwhelmed and stressed out. And why are you trying to go into a good college, right? Isn't it because you want to be happy, because you want to feel accomplished, because you want to be surrounded by people that will inspire you? We're all doing it to feel good, right? And in that journey, if you are not feeling good and if you are always stressed out, then it's kind of like, why are we doing this? Work out, get yourself out there, be active. Very, very important for your mental and physical health. The next habit that I would like to share with you is a little bit unconventional, but it's to know what your goal is and why that's important to you. When I ask students like, hey, what is your goal? What do you want to achieve in the next 6 months or 1 year? Most students can't really answer, and most adults can't even really answer. They don't really think about, what is my goal in 6 months or 1 year? And even if you were to set a New Year resolution, we all know that that just goes away really quickly. So it's really important to set a specific goal that you feel very, very connected to. So let's say, for instance, your goal is to get straight A's this year, or your goal is to lose 10 pounds in 6 months, or your goal is to start a passion project. You need to have a clear why. You need to have a compelling why, because if you are not feeling connected to your goal, then you're most likely going to lose the motivation and momentum altogether. And that's why, we always want to think about everything in terms of what is it that I want to achieve next. And some people might say, well, aren't you just always chasing one thing after another? But I think of it as, I'm a human being and I'm born on this planet for a reason. And I always think that there is infinite potential, right? So if I've hit this much in terms of where I want with my education, I can aim more and more and more. So every time I feel a little bit comfortable with myself, I'm like, how can I make myself more uncomfortable, right? Like, how can I experience what I haven't experienced yet? And that really gets you to think differently, because you're not like, all right, I'm a high school student, I need to get into an Ivy League, bam, that's it. It doesn't work that way. And even if you were to get into a good school or your dream school, wherever that may be, you might feel really like, like I'm done now, like now what, right? So it's really important to set goals that are very connected to you, something that you feel really closely aligned with. And then once you hit that, you have to remember that that's not it. You have another layer of goal you need to hit, another layer of life you want to live, right? So you always need to think that it's continuous, not like one shot and that's it. And I think that's what a lot of high school students also go through, like with college admissions journey. Like, I've studied, I got into Brown, now what, right? And that happiness is really a good feeling to have, but it doesn't last forever, right? So that's why, the goals that you set, create a compelling why and make it really, really integral part of you. My last habit that I would like to share with you is to be uncomfortable. And you might be thinking like, what? Yes, be uncomfortable. If you are doing something that is very comfortable for you, where you just go into a summer program and you do 2 weeks and you're done, you can really think about or question yourself, like, am I really doing what's stretching me outside of my comfort zone? And that's exactly why I have my students work on passion projects, because it is uncomfortable for them. They're like, you want me to reach out to this person? How do I do that? You want me to network with college admission officers? Oh, how do I do that? Right? So it's always important for me as a mentor to teach my students that you need to do things that are going to challenge you and that is going to stretch you outside of your comfort zone little by little. You don't want it to be too drastic where it sort of like shuts you down and you're like sweating and you're like, you can't function, but it could be done in a step-by-step format. So even with your college admissions journey, don't do things just because you think it needs to be checked off, right? Do it because it's challenging to you, and do it because it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, because through that experience, you'll learn something immense. And I guarantee you that through little failures or mistakes or things that you have to overcome, that's where the big lesson is waiting for you. And so many of my students, when they write college essays, we write about those things. We're not trying to say like, oh, like it was so hard, and we're not complaining, but it could be turned into a very powerful college essay if what you're sharing is very authentic and you've really challenged yourself and went for the uncomfortable place because you wanted to improve yourself. You wanted to be more passionate and be more bold and be more courageous about the decisions you're making. So I encourage you to be uncomfortable, leave your comfort zone, and just always improve your life academically and personally. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on mindset and habits for success. And these are tips that I just experienced myself and benefited from immensely, and I wanted to share these with you so you can also take what works for you and use it accordingly. As always, check out our Facebook group, Conquer College Admissions. We have free trainings and a great community there, and we also have our podcast, Demystifying College Admissions Podcast, where we have guest experts, and I do solo episodes there as well to talk about college admissions and mindset. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.